I'm Gary Blake. I'm the president and CEO of Creative Solutions in Healthcare. And it is my absolute honor today to have a conversation with Joleann Beene. Once you start as a CNA, and then you become an LVN, and then you become a DON, and then an RN, and then an RN DON, and then a regional nurse, a chief clinical officer for a national company, you get to experience a lot of things. I'm eager to hear what you've got to say.
Well, thank you for that, Gary, and I appreciate being here, and I'm so excited to talk about it.
All right, well, let's get started. Y'all join our conversation. With your extensive experience as a chief clinical nurse, Joleann, would you share with us how you've seen the vaccines positively impact the nursing homes and the residents and our staff?
Well, Gary, I can tell you that when we first started off, we were so worried about how we were going to be able to get this under control, especially within our long-term care sector. And so once we became aware of the vaccines that were coming along, we got excited because we knew that that was the key. The staff was excited, families were excited, because you have to remember, they were in isolation. They were quarantined. They weren't able to touch their loved ones. So therefore, that was our first rollout of saying, maybe we can get back to normal.
Just to take a little bit deeper dive into that, and you touched on it about they were in isolation. You know, we were able to go home to our friends and our families, and our staff was the only people that were laying hands on them.
That's right.
So the vaccine was a key to that first step.
It was.
To getting their doors back open.
Right.
When you signed up for your vaccine, what did you feel?
My first feeling was relief.
Mm-hmm.
My second one was elation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said, I'm telling you, I did a little dance. I did the happy dance. I was so elated because, you know, at that particular time, you know, it was like we didn't know whether you had to wait.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember thinking, oh, I can't wait, because I was ready. The moment they said vaccine was ready, I was ready. And I can tell you this too, Gary. My mom, she's not frail, but she is elderly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, she listened to everything. 7 RNs in the family.
Mm-hmm. 7 RNs.
7 RNs in the family. Okay. And she listened to all of us. She was first in line.
Isn't that wonderful?
To get in Navarre County to get that vaccine. She was ready.
Well, she's the leader in your family now that your dad has passed.
She's the matriarch.
Yep.
You know, and everyone looked up to her. So, you know, when everybody in the family is hearing, oh, grandmother got it, mama got it, whatever, you know, it was okay. If she can do it, then we certainly can.
Well, with 7 RNs in the family, you guys cover acute care, long-term care, and everything in between. What would you say to that family member as a vaccinated person when they're hesitant?
My first thought, especially with a family member, would be, help me understand.
Help you understand. Help
me understand, and then let me help you understand. I want to know. Just tell me, what are you hesitating for? What are your thoughts? What are you hearing? What's keeping you from making this monumental, life-saving decision?
Mm-hmm.
Because I still want to see your beautiful face tomorrow.
Yes.
Next week.
Yes.
Next month.
That's right. You want to have more Christmas dinners with people. You want to have more Thanksgiving, more Easters, more birthday celebrations, more family fun. It has turned family vacations and family reunions into attending too many funerals.
Exactly.
I've lost family members to COVID, and I know you've experienced.
Right.
I think we've all experienced losses with COVID or know someone with COVID. Do you feel comfortable sharing some of that with us?
Sure. My greatest loss was my godson. This was just about a month ago. Watched him grow up. Watched him, and his mom is my best friend. I mean, my dear best friend. He's 46 years old. And he was such a sweet young man. Just sweet young man. He had just gotten a promotion at work. He was a police officer. He was well known in the community. And Gary, he was unvaccinated. And it was a choice. And even to right now, there's still the controversy about that choice. But at the end of the day, what parent wants to see their child go before them? And I'm telling you, once I found out that he wasn't vaccinated, I became so angry because it was avoidable because of what we know now about vaccinations. But that's probably my greatest loss, and it's still to this day, even talking about it right now, it hurts my soul that I will not see his face again.
Wow. What has been the biggest challenge with getting people to get vaccinated?
Misinformation.
Okay.
I've heard some things that have been so far-fetched and so unbelievable that my first response to that is, tell me your resource. Show it to me that you can tell me, and don't tell me about Dr. Google. And I'm just saying that to be funny, but I'm really serious, because it's amazing how people, they can hear it from somebody that doesn't even have any type of credentials at all, just because their Billy Bob mechanic down the street told them that this is such and such a thing, and then they believe it just because you've known that person all your life. That does not mean that that's a reliable source. You have to believe the science of it. So that's what I struggle with, and try to help people to just help me.
Help you. I think it's interesting because sometimes you only have to go one or two questions deep to solve a problem, answer a riddle,
right,
and give real guidance. I know I was with a group of some friends, and they said, well, they say.
Right.
And I said, well, share with me who they are, because
they?
I need to call them and tell them they do not need to be spreading such misinformation, that they are giving guidance that they know nothing about.
Right.
Have you seen many people change their minds from, no, I'm not getting the vaccine, to I'm going to get it?
Yes.
What do you think led them to that?
Well, Gary, I'm telling you, one of the things that stands out in my mind the most is, we all know Maya Angelou. And one of her famous quotes, I think we all know it, is, when we know better, we do better.
We sure do.
I think, and I want to believe, that a lot of people, when they've seen those deaths skyrocketing, when they've been touched by a death in the family, that's what changed their minds. Just think about the doctor a few months ago that said she had lots of patients that say, I want to take the vaccine, and she's having to tell them, it's too late.
It's too late.
You got to wait.
Yep.
So, but I have seen, and it's been wonderful, when it is nothing like, you say one for the team, even if it's one at a time. Let's get those folks vaccinated one at a time. If we can just move one, that's one more that we don't have to worry about.
There's another old saying that just kind of came up, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Pound of cure.
Isn't that something?
That's something.
So when we were talking about this and vaccine hesitancy.
Actually, Gary, when you called me a few weeks ago and asked me to do this, I was so excited about it because I will stand on top of Empire State Building if I need to with a bullhorn in front of me. If I can get somebody to listen to and be able to address that one thing, which is the vaccine hesitancy. And it's in every culture.
Mhm.
It's in every race. It doesn't matter. But I also know that it is very prevalent in the African American community.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people are aware of that or becoming aware of it. Some people did not know anything about the experimental things that were done to Black Americans
Mhm.
years ago. And so they've learned about that. Once again, when you know better, you do
Get
better.
better.
And of course, the disparity in medical attention
Mhm.
to that has caused a lot of hesitancy. So when I speak to that, I want to be able to say, well, when you see everybody lining up in every culture,
Mhm.
every race that's lining up to get this vaccine, that's your first clue
Mhm.
that it's not being singled out. COVID doesn't recognize a race, rich, poor, Black, white. It is just going for your lungs.
Yep. You know, people have rights, and they want to make COVID personal. And I say, let's make it personal. I appreciate your time today. Thank you, Joleann. Thank you. We appreciate your dedication to the lives, the greatest generations that we will ever serve. The reason why you and I get to sit here today.
Exactly.
Thank you again.